Good morning, it's October 15th, and this is To My Liberal Friends. Well, the government shutdown is now entering 3 weeks, and there has to be a solution that both sides can live with. Democrats are demanding that items be added to what is a clean CR, and Republicans have indicated they're willing to negotiate on the health care provision in the proper appropriations bill, but need time to negotiate, and that means passing the clean CR until late November. Now, I'm not a fan of continuing resolutions to fund the government, but they become more the norm in Washington. When we do it this way, we basically ignore the regular order of Congress when it comes to funding the government. What eventually happens is they cobble all the outstanding bills into one omnibus bill at the end of the year, and the leadership negotiates this, and the members are given a single bill to take it or leave it. This has to end. The Republican Majority Leader in the Senate, John Thune, is offering a form of compromise that will open some parts of the government. He's offering some full-year funding bills that would fund the Pentagon, read that get the soldiers paid, and a handful of other federal agencies. Majority Leader John Thune teed up the House-passed Defense Appropriation Bill Tuesday for an initial procedural vote where it will need 60 votes to advance. That vote is set for tomorrow, Thursday. Separately, Republicans are attempting to expedite the process of instructing lawmakers to go to conference with House counterparts on a minibus legislation that would fund the Departments of Agriculture and Veterans Affairs, the FDA, and the operations of Congress, among other offices and agencies. The plan was described by 3 people granted anonymity to discuss internal deliberations. The Senate passed a 3-bill package in August and has been negotiating with the House to resolve differences between the two things and get them passed. Lawmakers were making progress in these talks before the government shut down, and now most discussions have ground to a halt. Democrats have raised concerns about advancing that package without larger assurances around the appropriations process and larger shutdown talks as Republicans raise additional threats to claw back congressionally approved funding. Patty Murray, the ranking Democrat of the Senate Appropriations Committee, told Thune that a leadership negotiation on a broader list of outstanding items, including health care, was the only way to break the stalemate and end the shutdown. That goes against all regular order, but it's what Democrats prefer these days. To pass these smaller bills would be a step in the right direction in getting Congress back to regular order and passing all of the individual appropriations bills. But at the moment, the Democrats are offering a government funding bill, their version of the CR, that has an additional $1.5 trillion in spending tacked onto that 4-week CR. And if you read the bill, they have proposed you will find some things hidden in legislative gobbledygook. In total, they've hidden $1.92 billion for health care for non-citizens. Some other items would be restoring $500 million to public radio that was cut in the bill passed this summer. They've got another $5 billion in foreign projects that Democrats want restored. Now here's a few examples. It would also restore up to $5 billion in taxpayer for these international projects. Here's a couple examples of this in their legislation. Their counter-proposal in the CR to keep the lights open. This is what they want to do. They want to spend $24.6 million tax dollars for climate resilience in Honduras. They want $13.4 million for civic engagement in Zimbabwe. Not sure exactly what that is. They want to spend $3.9 million for LGBTQI plus democracy grants in Western Balkans. They can't do that themselves. They want to spend $2.9 million tax dollars for desert locust risk reduction in the Horn of Africa. And we don't have many friends there. And $2 million for organizing for feminist democratic principles in Africa. Come on now. You have to ask yourself, are these important issues to you, and are you willing to spend your tax dollars on them? Democrats are hanging their hat on the health care issues, hoping nobody sees the other goodies they've hidden in their version of the bill. But if you look at this latest proposal by Senator Thune, you pass some of the individual bills, then much of the government will reopen. The Republicans have strongly indicated, as well as President Trump, that they're willing to maintain much of the health care subsidies, and they would be included in the HHS appropriations bill. If you're following news closely, there are enough Republicans in the House and Senate to accomplish this, but they also want the income limits put back in place that were removed by President Biden. You have people all over the country making 6-figure incomes getting subsidies that was not what the program was intended. They were put in during the COVID pandemic, and that's over. And I would point out, in the past, Chuck Schumer has voted 29 out of 30 clean CRs to keep the government open. This is the first one he hasn't voted yes. But he's under political pressure not to vote yes this time for fear he'll be deposed as a Democratic leader in the Senate. He also might get a primary challenge from AOC in New York. So what he should do is pass these smaller bills, then pass a clean CR. That would allow the House and Senate appropriators to negotiate what can be done to ensure that those who are truly in need of a subsidy for health care are taken care of. Those that just got used to it and don't want to give it up, that government handout, will just have to go back to what it was pre-COVID. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening. And if you enjoy it, make a comment.